on to whatever episode number this is.
I just started it. Thought it would be funny.
Okay.
Hey everyone. Live from the palatial recording studio.
Palatial?
Yes. The grounds of Mogadishu Downs. The palatial. Shitberg Studios. It said, on the grounds of Shitberg Studios at the Mogadishu Downs horse racing track. I am Matt Freemat with the Freemat Podcast. Yay!
Woohoo!
And of course, back by popular demand,
The only demand.
the one and only General Patrick Quinn.
Hey, hey.
The only man who scared it out of the sewer.
Tim Curry was better.
Oh, smashing.
Just saying.
Oh, Lord. As always, folks, the Freemat Podcast, a self-described libertarian free market economic roundtable discussion with a dramatic pause every once in a while because I screwed up the words.
Anyway.
Blessed to be here today. I'm blessed to have...
You better not hashtag that.
No. Blessed. I'm blessed. Hashtag blessed. No. It was like a picture of... it was like 13 children found in a shallow grave. And I'm like... I tweeted this out and said... Hashtag blessed. You're like, that's the most jacked up thing I've ever heard you say. I said, yes, that's why I said it. Oh, Lord, folks. Without saying I'm blessed.
You just did.
13 children found in a shallow grave. Hashtag blessed. Hashtag Robert Downey Jr.'s #1. You're like, what does that have to do with it? I said, it's funny.
It is, because let's face it.
Robert Downey Jr.'s like, what the fuck are these people doing?
He may as well change his name to Tony Stark at this point.
What the fuck are these people doing on Twitter? Like, hey man, here's a picture of my balls, and there's like some golf balls. Thanks a lot, Robert Downey Jr.
That. My balls.
What was it? Louis said, I said, hey man, that pudding looks delicious. It does? I want to stick my balls in it.
Oh, yeah.
Yay, Louis! Louis here. Oh, Lord. That's a really bad reference. I have that on DVD.
It is, because only like 5 people are going to get that reference.
I have that on DVD.
Yeah.
What's even worse is like 15 years later, the guy who did Louis was on the Tonight Show, and he's like, yeah, my kids asked me who Louis was.
Uh-huh.
That's so great. I want to dip my balls in it. Oh, Lord.
Yeah, it's like I said, only 5 people are going to get that reference. Hell, I had to get you to show me on YouTube to know that reference.
It's like, what's even worse is people are like, what does this have to do with libertarianism?
Meh.
I guess as long as you're not aggressing on somebody else, you're not like, I guess it's assault if you drop your dice on somebody's head. That's like really small amount of like force.
Not to me. I don't think so.
If you're like hurt by it, I understand, but your requirement in the amount of force that you show in response to deal with somebody dropping dice on your head, it probably isn't worth beating their assholes to sale. Now, the redneck in you says, hey, get your fucking dice off my head, and you fucking hit him in the cock. Talking about the old judo chop in the tank there. That's not even like the nuts, like the nerves and the nuts. It's like that like nervy, like it's kind of like a raw, like a deep tissue, like assault in the old taint there.
Yeah.
The no man's land. I have like I imagine there's plenty of people that have like hernias and stuff down there, and it's like getting hit in the old hernia. Imagine that wouldn't feel good.
That don't even sound good, honestly.
You know, right there. Like that.
You're in my space, man. You're out of my space.
I said, he's aggressing on me. His fingers in my airspace.
It's violating my bubble.
He's triggered.
Anyway.
Like the Victim Olympics podcast. Victim Olympics.
Oh, yeah.
Social Justice Fails podcast with Chauncey McFlynn over there. Oh, Lord. Let's get on to the rat killing, guys. Today we had selected... Oh, it's even better when I forgot to... I guess I erased the author of it. It was from the Libertarian Republic.
Good enough.
I will give accreditation in the descriptor when we upload it. But top 10 government agencies we should eliminate immediately.
Or at least 6.
Yeah, because I edited it down for continuity. Because you can't put an 8-minute and 30-second song on the radio. Bohemian Rhapsody, what does this mean?
I disagree with that. You can. People just don't have the nuts to do it. They want their advertiser money.
And then they discovered that the fans liked Bohemian Rhapsody, even though it had nothing to do with Bohemians or any Rhapsodies. But that was the beauty of it. Anyway, it says, I'll stare at the camera and make serious faces. Like, you need to look at that one and just get serious. There we go. Top 10. Oh, Lord.
Top 6.
Top 6. It's like the 10 top... No, it's the 12 top country hits. And there's only 10 songs on the album because they couldn't get the rights to the other 2.
Yeah,
And they just don't want to change the name of the album.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. Ooh, number 1, National Security Agency.
NSA. And we're not talking A.
Hey, the Fonz. Oh, Lord. Despite only recently becoming known to most Americans, the NSA has been around since 1952, created by President Truman. It's very Orwellian, like 1984 shit. Found itself embroiled in controversy, whether for spying on leaders who were in opposition to the Vietnam War. 2013, Edward Snowden revealed that the NSA had been collecting phone records of billions of people.
Do you think he'll ever get pardoned? Just yes or no?
No.
Okay. Move on.
I think they should.
Well, I didn't want to get into it. Didn't want to sidetrack.
I don't know if...
I didn't want to sidetrack.
Okay. We'll go on that at the end. Thank you. Food and Drug Administration. Nothing to do with Benny and the Jets. Food and Drug Administration. The FDA is given the surreal power of regulating what Americans may eat, drink, and medicate themselves with. This describes an environment where citizens are told that they are, in fact, not the sole deciders of what goes into their own bodies.
Which is bullshit.
Like marijuana. Given the inefficiency in bureaucracy, which is fun to say, perhaps the most significant failure of the FDA is that it can, for years, prevent certain drugs from coming to market, all while some desperate patients are willing to take the necessary risk on experimental medicines. I've said this also. It says, I'm dying with stage 4 cancer.
Try it. It may work.
I'm a dummy. I'm like, put holes in me.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I'm going to get blazed like freaking Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre all rolled up in one. Get high every day. Smoke weed every day. I can't even do it. I got one bad hand.
It's getting better. It's getting better.
The flipper. Oh, God. The EPA. Environmental Protection Agency. And I know there's some other funny other words.
Yeah, I don't like what they're having to do with the EPA emission standards for the new diesels. It's like cutting the life short of a lot of the newer, smaller diesels.
Also,
side rant.
The one with trucks, and they have to have another chemical added to it. Like there's it makes it run hotter or something. So it's something weird like that. It makes diesels run hotter, and it's just an additive, and it's a pain in the ass. It's like
It's ammonia.
a gallon of it is expensive or something.
It's literally ammonia. It's like piss. It comes in packets. Oh, what is the name of it? Because there are so many different components to it now. It's not EGR. Move on. I could have answered it, but since I'm on the spot, I don't want to sit here and go duh.
Oh Lord. EP has gone from a small and seemingly necessary regulatory agency to a behemoth which tramples small businesses without regard for economic realities.
I think it's DPF, diesel particulate fluid. Okay.
Yep. While even some libertarians will admit that there should be some minor regulations on pollution, the EPA has taken the power to arbitrate land disputes and environmental concerns from courts and private citizens and placed it into the hands of bureaucrats with no accountability. And I've actually said that because they're not governed by Congress. They are able to make up their own rules and laws.
And wouldn't that make them basically like in medieval times they'd be called like a lord?
Yes.
Like a feudal lord, essentially. And therein lies my problem with it, is because everybody thinks, the government is, you've got your congressman, your senate and all that, and that's it. But because of all this, what you were just talking about, no, we have got hundreds of thousands of quote-unquote little kings now. That's just, no.
There's petty bureaucrats. They're enabled by cabinets.
Yes.
The cabinet positions. And they have, like, the underlords, and they their fealty is to some appointed asshole. And the thing is, I was like, I wish the appointed asshole would say, I could draw a check for another 3 years. I could just do away with the entire cabinet. I could actually make rules to do away with what I'm doing. Like, you could, fall on the sword. No, like, oh yeah, people might lose jobs. No, they'll be paid for a year. Yeah. It's like, you could start saving people money. You could just be like the town dick that they made the mistake of electing mayor. Except for you're not even elected. Oh, Lord. Oh, here's another jewel. There might be, a million people get pissed at this one, because all a million of our viewers probably don't ride Amtrak either.
Yeah, they probably don't.
Trains are clearly, and that's Amtrak, by the way, trains are clearly the transportation choice of the past. Yet government your government keeps your dollars invested in them. As prices have gone up higher subsidies have been necessary to keep Amtrak running. Even as certain routes remain barely used, certain congressmen want to be able to tout that the trains run through their districts. It's like a virtue signal, leading to even more tax dollars going toward this failed project. It's like
get rid of it.
The train going nowhere. Like, nobody goes here. Well, why do we send a train here? Well, it makes me look good because we get money for the trains. It's like Kevin from Office. And he talks about riding the train.
Was that the guy with the stapler?
No. That is Milton from Office Space.
Okay, am I confusing Office and Office Space? Yeah, that sounds about right.
Pardon, sir, I think you have my stapler. The red stapler is a swing line stapler. It's not like the Boston stapler. They took a stapler from me. He's like, I'll burn this place to the ground. Which looked really bad on YouTube, but it's like, take it out of context, people. It's Milton, damn it. 20 years ago, 2 days ago, Office Space came out in the movie theaters. 20 years ago.
I always thought it was overrated. Not going to lie. I thought Office Space was overrated.
I think when they took the revenge on the cop here, it made me feel warm inside.
Yeah.
Damn, it's so hard being a gangsta. Gangstash. We're not even going to get into the Ghetto Boys. Bushwick Bill and Scarface. Oh, Lord. Oh, number 5. Federal Emergency Management Agency, or FEMA, which sounds like a blood thinning drug.
It really
FEMA.
does, like Coumadin.
Coumadin, FEMA. Is that what the generic version of FEMA is? Coumadin. Oh, Hurricane Katrina was their greatest hit. Americans were able to see the true ineptitude of FEMA. More layers of bureaucracy are piled one upon another. Quick responses become more difficult. Emergency relief should be left to private organizations like the American Red Cross, which has proven itself time and time again. Which technically is true. They do show up quicker than anybody else. I don't say that it is a bad joke. I was like, well, they're so damn good at showing up. Maybe they're the ones doing it. They're like, they have a hurricane machine? I would never say FEMA had a hurricane machine. They're like, we'll never lose our jobs. So what if we flood 1 million houses?
We still have jobs, bitches.
Shut up. You better take that relief.
Take it. Take the relief.
Get the blanket and shut up.
Would you like assistance over there?
Is that a hand joke? A hand job?
Definitely not a hand job.
Hey, not a hand job. I got a job for you. Is it a hand job? I'll close my eyes, dude. That's not gay.
The hell you say?
Fuck you. What is this, 90s gay joke day?
Maybe.
Oh, Lord. And the sad thing is I have no problem with gays. I have no problem with straight people either. I don't know why I can't joke about it.
Because it's all about the feels.
There's no too soon. There's no my feels.
Exactly.
My feels.
I don't care about your feels. I care about me laughter.
Speaking of regulating feels or triggering speech, the FCC,
Federal Communications Division.
they won't let you be.
Oh, is that what you were looking for? Oh, I missed it.
Freedom of speech. Are like, damn, guys. Miss these cues. Freedom of speech is among the most important rights in our Constitution. Perhaps the reason why it is listed first. However, the FCC placed barriers upon our rights to engage in screaming fuck and listen to speech of our choice. Like shit. Most recently, the FCC engaged in more unbelievable behavior, cocksuckers, as it is for the first time create a regulation of the internet through net neutrality, which will no doubt create the possibility of a future abuse of power.
Possibility.
Shitbergs.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, the guy who used to be in charge of the FCC, Michael Powell, and yeah, I'm probably going to put him in the show notes.
Fuck that guy.
He was Colin Powell's son, I think, and he was the one who got appointed. It had nothing to do, like, no experience in communications. And I was like, technically Larry Flint was more qualified for this job than Michael Powell. And they passed over Larry Flint.
Now, if Larry Flint was part of the FCC, I think that would be awesome.
It's the Pussy Show Hour on Sundays at 3, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, CBS has vaginas.
Finally.
We can put all the cocks we want in commercials and say fuck in kids shows.
I still think it's hilarious that he was the judge in his own movie.
I say we got fucks in the middle of the day and cocks and commercials.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it would be quite that, but I do think it would be interesting if somebody like Larry Flint was a part of the FCC.
Hi, I'm the chairman of the FCC. I'm Larry Flint. He's like, so we decided to find people. We decided to move the goalpost. It's okay to have cocks, but no prayer. We're like a complete swing to the other side. Take that, nuns! Oh, anyway. I'm not saying you should torture nuns. Anyway, we'll move on.
Are you sure?
Oh, Lord.
No.
The Libertarian Republic.com had... And I completely fucked up my... putting... I think it was this
Peterson. Austin Powers. Yeah, baby!
Actually, I was going to say Austin Parties, because it said... Talked about third parties.
Peterson is the
Austin
word
Peterson.
you're looking for.
The question becomes, If America wants a third party this strongly, why is the Libertarian Party struggling?
Because they can't market for shit.
Yeah, because Eddie is not a good representative.
Eddie.
Eddie,
Iron Maiden Eddie?
the guy that works at at Flinco. The bus flasher.
I fired him so many times.
Somebody else hired me. I'm the best. Fuck you, Flinko. He went on the news and sued you guys. Like, I'm disabled. I fly school buses. I can't help it. It's a compulsive disorder.
Yeah.
Like somebody else hires him.
Flasherettes or some shit.
Flasherettes. It was like Walmart hires him after Flinco fires. I'm number one. With a blue vest with his dong flapping around. It's the greatest thing ever. Like Flinco's like, fuck.
Pretty much.
Settled for $100,000, and he's like, got a famous website now. Flinco sucks. Like,
Gonna have to bring it down.
oh yeah, suing somebody over that. And they're like, they fired a guy because I'm gonna tell you reasons why Flinco sucks. Because number one, districting is not conducive to third parties. You like that segue?
I did.
That's pure acting. We'll start with an area that is out of the Libertarian Party's control, which is districting. Both Republicans and Democrats accuse each other of gerrymandering, that is, drawing voting districts around constituency demographics to benefit themselves. They're both right because they both engage in this to their benefit and will continue to. Due to this structural disadvantage, the Libertarian Party only has a chance in statewide elections that are determined by the popular vote, such as U.S. Senate or gubernatorial races.
Gubernatorial.
Goobers. Unfortunately, the Libertarian Party hasn't been popular.
Because they're goobers.
Because we engage in gubernatorial races. A great example of this is New York gubernatorial candidate Larry Sharpe in 2018. We liked Larry Sharpe. I actually liked Larry.
Yeah, Larry's pretty cool. He was on Stapleton's program, I think, if I remember right.
Yep, and I think he was also on FBN at one time.
Ah.
Sharpe ran a well-structured campaign fundraising well for a libertarian and providing positive messaging in his platform. I love positive. Yet, Sharpe fell slightly below the Green Party candidate Howie Hawkins in the election, despite much better fundraising and slightly better polling than Hawkins. This is leading up to the election, but... Number 2, the Libertarian Party won't fit into 2020. The Libertarian Party viewed 2016 as their big yar, and many eyes were indeed on the party.
And they blew it.
Well, they fumbled. They were up by 25, and they fumbled. They received an unprecedented amount of coverage compared to previous years. This came in the form of televised debates, a televised convention, and much more mainstream press coverage of the eventual presidential candidate than ever before. 2020 is not a repeat of 2016. There's no redo. It's not the year of #NeverTrump because we already have President Trump.
Logic bomb.
Nice. Well played, sir. You just hit it on the green. The Democrats will run a candidate further to the left to fight populism with populism. An extraordinarily binary election is the predictable result of the country's current state of polarization. Americans will be fighting to retain Trump or fire Trump. Nobody will be shopping for a third choice with a perception of the stakes.
Except me.
Well, it might actually cause people to sit out, which will be ugly. The only major issue that libertarians can distinguish themselves from Trump on is immigration, where the vast majority of Americans ultimately disagree with libertarians on the extent of their border views, which doesn't help them. Hillary Clinton recently voiced that mass migration into Europe was problematic. Yeah, I'm tongue-tied, twisted. I'm just a earthbound misfit. That's a little Pink Floyd for you.
All right, then.
Learning to Fly, Pink Floyd. A sentiment which was echoed by John Kerry, which I really didn't lose any sleep because,
Well, who cares about John Kerry?
fuck John Kerry.
Yeah.
He's pushing gun control. Fuck him.
Yeah, meh.
That was, what, 5 fucks? 6?
8 fucks.
7, 8.
Because I'm going for another fuck, so there's 9.
And I hate odd numbers, so
why,
fuck. Yeah.
Exactly. Why don't we round it out?
Well played. It says Democrats who are unhappy with those migration remarks will only go further left within the Democratic Party to field their candidate. There will be plenty for them to choose from. If you think the 2016 field was crowded by Republicans, just you wait for the Democrats in 2020. And we saw this week because Uncle Bernie decided to run and Kamala Harris decided to run. And these people are nut jobs.
Oh, yeah.
I'm actually surprised that horse hasn't tried to run.
The only thing I will give Bernie credit for, besides being good at identifying a problem and giving a piss poor solution, I do believe with him, we got the best chance of getting out of a lot of the wars that we're in.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one saving grace I will say about Bernie Sanders. Everything else, economically, whatever you want to run, whatever platform you discuss from Bernie, it is completely bass backwards. But I will give him credit on that one issue.
I was like, I'm for Vermont, and I want to give you free shit. See, I can't do the R's. Like, if you have these Bernie Sanders and those R's, he's from Vermont. Healthcare for all.
Healthcare for all?
Yeah, healthcare for all.
Like that? Healthcare?
Yeah. Healthcare for all.
Medicare for all?
That was actually dope, dude. Medicare for all. Cox for all. It's not gay to say Cox for all. Cocks for straight people. I'm talking about roosters, people. What the fuck's wrong with you?
You love the cock.
I love those cocks. Running around eating bugs out of the yard. Going cock-a-doodle-doo. Can't get enough cocks these days. Cocks for all. Not healthcare for all. Cocks for all. What the fuck you talking about? This is what, 11, 12? Well, let's get off cocks here.
Let's do that.
Probably 20 cocks. A lack of empathy in its translation into poor marketing. There we go. Boom. Throwing the notes away here. Just get out of here. All right. According to the notes, libertarians thrive on theory but struggle with practicality. Often missing the forest for the trees. When you feel like you've won a random internet skirmish after calling your foe a statist boot-licking sheeple, you've actually helped lose the war. Yes, libertarians.
Imagine that!
That polite warning was brought to you by General Patrick Flynn. Let me see. In order to change someone's views, you have to understand their views, even acknowledge their views. Libertarians, however, operate on a Vegas or bust, all-or-nothing approach. I've seen more people incrementally arrive at the ideas of liberty than I've ever seen arrive there from being called a bootlicker.
See, if you go back to our last... If it wasn't our last episode, it was the episode before that. We talked about the very same thing. And even this is a guy that's in the party, in the trenches, and run as a candidate, and he's saying the same shit. Makes me feel good.
Warm and fuzzy.
In my cackles.
My yard cock. Oh, Lord. They said the inability to handle criticism or play devil's advocate and having no sense of humor detracts from your ability to relate to others. It is otherwise known as empathy. Yes, most libertarians don't have any empathy.
They try to be Michael Myers.
Halloween.
Exactly.
Can't even do the...
No.
There we go.
Now I'm going to have to listen to that theme now. It's in my head. That's one of those things. It's like that theme and Tales from the Crypt. One scene in my brain, it's like I got to drive them out like the
I need to
Exorcist.
buy you a keyboard. Let me see. I'm no stranger to libertarians. Of course, in order to attract people, you have to relate to people, and people don't relate well with prudes. I'm no stranger to libertarians placing words in my mouth to confirm their biases, all for the sake of having something to complain about on the internet.
In the mouth.
In the mouth. In your mouth. This was most recently demonstrated with sharing an article, Snapchat sex workers being reported to IRS for taxes.
In the mouth.
Libertarians stormed my page to condemn my position on the subject, even though no position was given. He mentioned you can go on his podcast to learn more. Small and medium businesses employ the majority of Americans. These are people who would be helped by the libertarian position on deregulation. If the majority of business would be helped by a libertarian economic structure, then why aren't they supporting libertarians? It's because the libertarians focus is on normalizing taboos rather than on issues Americans feel are important. And yes, I've said that. Libertarians would rather tell someone to read a book rather than engage in economic discussion. Yet they have all day to tell about why you should be able to sell heroin to your 5-year-olds. And he goes, "You thought I forgot. If those who stand to benefit the most from your ideas are turning you down, you're doing something very wrong."
Dun, dun, dun. Oh!
Here all day.
Do the Andrew Dice Clay. Oh!
Hey! Straight from, was he from Jersey?
It's either Jersey or New York. I forget, honestly. I want to say New York, though. I want to say New York.
Oh, here's one of my big beefs, and this is wonderful, because everybody loves Matt's big beefs.
Yeah.
The party is being overrun by leftists, yes. The Libertarian Party tried to capitalize on the Never Trump movement by working overtime to signal to the left. Now the party is being weighed down by libertarian socialists, anarcho-communists, and Antifa activists whose main objective is to abolish private property rights within the party. Private property rights are the very core of actual libertarianism. And entertaining these leftists is entertaining the idea of the party's destruction. Thank you. The idea propagated during the 2016 election that libertarians are socially liberal was a mistake.
It was. And I also think it was because the phrase was socially liberal, financially conservative, or physically conservative, something like that. Yeah, I believe that was the complete phrase, and that was a marketing nightmare.
All right, and they said that liberals champion a forced acceptance of behavior they approve of and the abolishment of behavior they disapprove of by means of leveraging government. Incrementalism, as I mentioned earlier, and that's Mr. Peterson, should work in the favor of the Libertarian Party rather than in the favor of the Democrat Party. Bringing in more leftists who try to shift the party further left is not a win. Thank you. Onward, the NAP is fundamentally flawed. That is the non-aggression principle. It's an excellent guide, but makes for a poor pledge due to its flaws. The fact so much debate exists around the NAP should preclude it from being a pledge. Pledging different things to different people isn't much of a solitary pledge. Does abortion violate the NAP? It depends on which libertarian you ask. I've actually, yeah. Does excuse? I am excused. No, just kidding.
I actually burped into the mic on that one.
No, I'm rolling with it.
Okay. I'm just making sure you were aware.
Indifferent. Indifferent. I'm gonna knock your teeth loose.
No. Go not. No. I can't be indifferent when
slightly
when
indifferent podcast.
When there's a fight, can't be indifferent when there's a fight.
Slightly indifferent podcast.
Punch you on principle.
Whatever. I mean, whatever. No. It says it depends on which libertarians you ask. Does allowing a child to starve to death violate NAP? How about die from a diaper rash in a maggot-infested diaper? There was a link to a news story there. After being left in a baby swing for over a week.
Ugh.
Yeah. Depends on which libertarian you ask.
I'm not even pro-kid, but
Well, it's pieces of shit. It should never have kids. I think that people should, stand outside their property and yell, "Quit having kids, you waste of DNA." Because all you do is just fuck up. Stop having babies, please. There's no government needed. I think there's so many people that are sick of these assholes. They just stand outside their house and keep them from screwing, with air horns. You will not have children. Quit procreating.
Pull out, motherfucker, pull out.
You will not fertilize that egg. What about getting behind the wheel? Speaking of getting behind things. When you're blackout drunk, swerving in and out of traffic. Is being a clear and present danger a violation of the NAP? How about firing a gun into the air? Again, it depends on which libertarian you ask. The fact any of this is even a debate horrifies anyone on the outside looking in. And my printer sucks because it left out a bunch of words earlier and made it where I had to use my imagination to fill things in.
Oh, really?
But the non-aggression principle, it is you remember what I mentioned about libertarianism being a bar? It's a guide point. It's kind of a...
I think it actually does more harm than good.
Sometimes, yeah.
I don't even think sometimes. I think it's one of those things that is such a divisive mechanism that people can't have a straight yes or no on. That it's one of those things to where the weeds show up before you get to any substance, and everybody gets lost in the weeds on it. It's just it does more harm than good, period.
I think people want clear cut. People want, I know we're very, I'm gonna say we're smart people, but we're quicker thinking and we're not deeper thinking. Things are more, I won't say brevity, things are more less philosophical, and they're more cut to the chase type stuff.
Yeah.
I'm trying to word it correctly.
Instant gratification type deal.
And yes, people want to know. They're like, okay, is this wrong? Is this right? Can I do this? Is this wrong? Can you justify this? I don't think everybody wants to shit test you, that they want to know if this is, I can't believe you let this happen. Not everybody thinks that way, but they want to know. They're like, you go read a book. Why don't you just read a book about it? These people honestly don't know. The media doesn't let these people know. And the thing is, the non-aggression principle, most people, that's too many. I'm making a joke about rednecks. It's too many syllables in one sentence.
Yeah.
In this, it's like, I like shiny things. It's not.
Yeah, it really is. It really is.
What are those words? Like they stopped at non. They're like,
No, I think they got to aggression because
I like to get drunk and go deer hunting. And they're like, we're talking about the non-aggression principle.
And my wife is the deer.
Huh? Yeah. They're like, you're like, is your wife's a deer? Huh? They don't even say that doesn't make sense because they're like that confused. Like, I like beer. We're like, no, we're talking about fucking a deer. I like beer. You're too stupid to understand when I'm cracking a joke at. You call me stupid? I'm sick of dealing with you. Are stupid. Asshole. Oh, Lord. Anyway, dude, we ran way over.
How far?
A little bit over. About 4 minutes.
Oh, that ain't over. Shit.
Anyway. Hell, I'll look at the closing remarks. I didn't have notes or anything. We just rolled with a really piss poor printed.
In other words, you were caught with your cack out.
My yard cack.
Your cack out.
Free health care.
So the words of wisdom for this week is, don't get caught with your cack out, folks.
Guys, find ways to live your own life and be responsible for yourself.
Without free health care.
Free health care. From Vermont. Health care.
Anyway.
and live your own life and function and find how you can be a bigger or bigger,
better
a
person.
bigger part of your life, because free healthcare is wrong. Pay for your own healthcare. I'm a libertarian candidate for Senate from Vermont. I don't like free healthcare. Well, pay for your own healthcare. I can't do it. I was like, do I look like I'm from Vermont?
No. No.
I'm a horseshoe mustache guy from Somalia. And you're a Honduran Irishman.
From?
Wherever Honduras is. Honduras?
Honduras.
Iran? Is that where from Irish people are from? Iran?
I don't think so. I think
Irishland?
Although some Middle Eastern countries got some hot chicks, I gotta say.
Honduraland or Irishland? Is that where Honduran Irishland? That's where Irish people are from.
That would be Ireland, wouldn't it?
Canadians are from Canada.
That would
No, I'm just kidding.
Canada, like Canadian bacon.
Like Justin Trudeau.
Look, is Canadian
like pussy.
Is the bacon pronounced Canadian bacon? No.
It'd be hilarious if it was. Oh, God, what was the funny joke that I mentioned before about I always joked. Have you ever seen the beginning of Slapshot? And
yes,
there's this girl, a woman in her 20s or 30s in the crowd, and she yells at Jean-Guy Drouin and goes, "Frog pussy!" I was like, that's hilarious. God, frog pussy. I have a buddy, one of our followers on Twitter is Reggie Dunlop from it's a guy. It's just his name is Reggie Dunlop, and that's just like his screen name. And I forgot I forgot what his actual Twitter handle was, but he's I was joking to say it was like there's a little clip. It was Dr. Hook says, "Hey Dunlop, you suck cock," and Dunlop goes, "All I can get." He's trying to goad him into a fight. He's like, "All I can get." God, what was the other one? He was telling his boss, who's an older man, played by Strother, is the not the owner, but he's the manager of the team, and he's just like, "Hey, you remember that night that you wore those that brassiere and those panties, and you had the rubber tassels and they're rubbing all over me?" And he's like, "Don't go into this. Don't talk about this." And he was, "Just level with me. Who owns the Chiefs?" So he's blackmailing this guy. I think he was just bullshitting. Like, they made up the story.
Yeah.
I was like, "Man, you're running around with your wang out. Don't tell people that shit." Oh, believe me, there's blackmail stuff about anybody these days.
I'm sure.
Oh, people going to a club and they're like, you got a face full of tits, stuff like that.
That I would jump in front of that and be like, yeah, and you wish you did too.
Well, it's really good if you're trying not to have other people find out you do things like that.
But you're.
Don't tell these people about my fetish.
You're a hetero male. You're supposed to have tits in your face.
Well, I'm like a power flash. It's the yellow. It's like, don't tell people about your fetish for yellow raincoats. I thought the power flash, dude. Damn, dude, I'm epilepsy or something over here.
You need another beer or mead or more mead.
Yeah, we're gonna get more beer, but my closing remarks. Libertarianism is a high bar of sorts, and it should govern how you can live your life, and it can encourage you to take more action in your own life. My inspirational words at the end of the show, as always, I want you to do and be. I want you to love others. Love others as you would want them to love you. Many blessings, and I will see if General Patrick Flynn wants to have any closing words.
My closing words are the same closing words that I use every day, all day, in just about any aspect of the things that I like to do. Like to do being the key word. Fuck can't. You can do it. Whatever it is, you can. Incrementally, piece by piece, find the smallest actionable step you can take. Do that each day and see where you get. They're expensive. I'm not dropping it.
I have to remember to bring the droppable mic here. But, folks, what he had said, damn right. Many blessings. We love you. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next time.
Holla!